The elite left gathered once again, patting themselves on the back at what they call the Grammys. Tonight, we'll break down the hypocrisy on full display and how this cultural echo chamber is quietly reshaping the American mindset. Stick around, you don't want to miss this.
Freedom Talk, we're coming on the air. Coffee's hot, flags flying everywhere. Bible on the dash, truth in our walk. Turn it up loud, this is Freedom Talk.
Yes, welcome back to Freedom Talk. I'm your Freedom Talker, Steve, and this is a brand new channel, and I need your help. If you give me a like, subscribe, and stick around to the end, leave a comment. I appreciate to hear what you have to say because your opinion matters. Now let's get into this. Don Lemon, once again, good old Don. He Remember, he was arrested for this church protest. He went in there in disguise as a journalist, and he just infiltrated the church. They took over the service, disrupted it, had fathers and kids, kids hugging their fathers, and he was trying to calm them down. Just was really a total disgrace for American people. And there's my cat. If you excuse me, I have to let him out. Okay, Tanner's outside. Where were we? Okay, Don Lemon, yes, he infiltrated this church. And of course, he got arrested for it. And they picked him up out of his hotel room a couple days ago. And soon as he got released, he went over to the Emmys. And of course, the left had to celebrate him. Okay, well, that's enough of that. I don't see how anyone can celebrate being arrested over disrupting a church service. Where have we come being American? I thought our country was founded on religious freedoms, and we should have a right to worship. When you come in there because there's a person there that has any affiliation with anything. They say he had affiliation with ICE somehow, one of the pastors there, and that gave him a right to disrupt service. That is a shame, and it's against a protective right. And he did deserve to get arrested for that. He wasn't the only one at the Grammys that was stirring up some stuff. This is Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish? Let's see. That's Billie Eilish. Well, she had this to say, which left me scratching my head.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
Oh, you're just such a saint. No one's illegal on stolen ground. Okay, well, if that's your take and that's your moral conviction that you're on stolen ground, why don't you give up your $1 million home to the indigenous people that lived on that land, because it was stolen. It was stolen. And so why don't you give it back? And everyone that applauded in that audience, why don't you give your home back to the people that originally deserved that? Okay? I don't see no one handing the title deed to their house to give it to the indigenous people that got their land stolen from, the Indian people or whoever was living in there at the time that it was stolen. And who's to say that particular piece of land was stolen? Because if you remember, some of it was stolen, some of it was bought, some of it was given under a treaty, some was a broken treaty, which is wrong, and then definitely there was some that was just outright stolen. So there was 4 different ways of it, but this has been over 200 years. How long do we have to wait before land is owned or something, or do we just continue because this land, maybe before the Indians, somebody else owned the land before the Indians? Maybe we need to go back and give that land back to them. And like if, who owned England before it was England. Was it the Irish? Should we give it all back to the Irish? How far back in history do we need to go? Let's just go back to the caveman days, okay? And just give it back to the cavemen, okay? None of them around. I don't know. It's just crazy. But that's Billie Eilish, and that's what she had to say. And then also too, if you remember, we have good old Bad Bunny, and Bad Bunny's going to be over here at the Super Bowl show this coming Super Bowl 60, and this is what he had to say at the Grammys.
Before I say thanks to God, I'm gonna say eyes out.
Okay. All right, and of course, once again, the crowd goes crazy. Ice out. Okay, let's get all the ICE officers bad. They're bad people from what they say because we just want to kick out brown people. No, we want to kick out illegals. Especially illegals that are here doing illegal things. There's child rapists, there's murderers, there's thieves, and there's a bunch of others there. But all I know is that crime has, since President Trump started doing his job and kicking out the illegals, crime's been down quite a bit. And he also said that before you give thanks to God, well, if you're going to give thanks to God, then you better start believing in God and what the Bible has to say. And with his lyrics on his songs, I don't think most of it's Spanish, but even translated in Spanish into English, to hand it to any Christian would be offensive. It would be offensive to my mom, to my dad, to anybody that, unless they lived into a deep city culture that just accepted that. And you have no belief in or no religious conviction on language or anything like that, then I don't know. For him to give thanks to God, you better do some. It's good to give thanks to God. Don't get me wrong, but it also has some moral conviction too. You need to look into yourself to say, hey, am I doing the right things with what I'm doing? But that's Bad Bunny, and he's at the halftime show that Super Bowl 60. I have some super duper, really great news for you, and that is Turning Point USA. This is, I'm not getting paid for any of this promotion or anything like that. I just saw this and I thought this was just awesome. They're having an alternative All-American halftime show. So as the Bad Bunny is doing his thing, we can check out Turning Point USA, and they're on different platforms: Rumble, X, YouTube, my favorite, YouTube, and all these other channels over here too. So be sure to, they're going to kick it off with Kid Rock, Blantley Gilbert, Lee Bryce, and Gabby Barrett. So please check this out. I think this is going to be what a fabulous idea to give people a choice. Because a lot of things come to this country about choice. We need to choose right. We need to have great discernment. And if we make great choices, then great things are going to happen. As you see in different areas, some people are making some bad choices, and we do need to pray for them to get wisdom and discernment. It's not going to come to everybody. Some are too far gone, but the ones that can be saved, God bless them. I hope they are saved. And let's go over to our the biggest piece of hypocrisy, and who can forget our former president, Barack Obama. And remember his hypocrisy. When he was in office back in, 2012, he deported 4,009 people. Correction, 409,000. Get it right, Steve. 2012, with a total of 920,000 removals. And he gave Tom Homan, who is the ICE chief of back then in 2012, and he gave him the Presidential Medal of Freedom Award. And now Tom Homan is underneath Trump, and he deported 290,000 people in 2025 which is considerably less than when he was underneath Obama's presidency. And now they call him a Nazi. Okay, so what's the difference? What is the difference? Same person doing the same job. I'll tell you what the difference is. The difference is we have a president who stands for freedom, and his name is Donald J. Trump. He stands for freedom. He's doing, I don't know if he's a godly man or not, but I know he is doing some good things according to what would be considered godly. So with him in charge, it scares a lot from the left because the left wants total dominance. They want power. They want to bring America down to a level to where it can be controlled. And you can see that control with the mindset of their followers. Because whatever the issue is, if it's Venezuela, bam. Oh, Venezuela, free Maduro, and bad Trump. Okay. Now, if it's Greenland, oh, Trump's a dictator. He's trying to take over land like the Nazis did. Oh, good Greenland, bad Trump. Okay. And then, like over here with Minnesota, it's like Trump, he's trying to get the legals out, so get the murderous people out. And the ones doing bad crimes and sex crimes and everything like that. And ICE comes in and they say bad ICE. They're sending out brown people and the people that, the kids that are, they're locking up 5-year-olds. If you arrest a parent or somebody in possession of a 5-year-old, then the 5-year-old would have to go underneath protective custody, which is the right thing to do. You can't just leave them on the street. So, but they take that and they twist it like, they're just arresting anybody and whoever and whatever. No, that's not the case. They have a plan, they have people, and they go get the people that have been doing bad things or here illegally. So, anyway, but that was the hypocrisy. And we have to remember to let's keep, if you're a praying American and you believe in freedom, keep praying and keep your voice up and stand for what's right, be on the right side of history, and keep Jesus in charge, and we can be overcomer of all things. Thank you much for listening. Make sure to leave a comment, hit that like and subscribe, and we'll catch you here next time on Freedom Talk.
Turn it up loud. This is Freedom Talk.